Imagine being the most responsible person in your entire school. Straight A's, never late, never breaks a rule. Now imagine that same person has a secret double life writing steamy romance novels online under a fake name with hundreds of thousands of followers who have no idea who she really is. That's Mizuki Haruno. Mizuki Haruno is 17 years old, and on paper, she is the definition of an overachiever. She's the class president, she's never missed a deadline in her life, she runs student council meetings with the energy of someone commanding a small army. But there's a version of Mizuki that nobody at school knows about. Online, she goes by the pen name Yume Shirose, and under that name, she writes wildly popular romance novels. We're talking 500,000 plus followers, chapters that trend every time she posts, the kind of numbers that would make her classmates' jaws hit the floor if they ever found out it was her. And here's the thing, Mizuki has zero real dating experience. No boyfriend, no first kiss. She is writing some of the most popular romantic tension on the internet, and she has never actually experienced any of it herself. Now let's talk about Kento Asaba. If Mizuki is order and structure, Kento is complete chaos in human form. He's the school's resident slacker, sleeps through class, skips his club duties constantly, somehow still charming enough that people don't hate him for it, except Mizuki. Mizuki has hated Kento since freshman year when he flooded the student council room as, quote, a prank. She has never let it go. Every single interaction between them is basically a Cold War. In one scene, she's literally stepping on his foot on purpose in the hallway, and when he calls her out on it, she just says, and I quote, "I'm aware." Kento, for his part, finds the whole thing hilarious. He's not intimidated by her at all, which honestly might be the most annoying thing about him from her perspective. When she brings up all the cleaning duties he skipped, his response is just, "Add it to my tab," which, okay, that's a pretty good line. And it's about to become a much bigger problem for Mizuki than she realizes. Here's where things start to unravel. Later that day, Mizuki is sitting in class trying to write actual student council notes. But without even realizing what she's doing, her pen starts writing something completely different. A line for her novel, describing a character who says things like, "The world owed him nothing and everything." She looks down at what she wrote and immediately panics, because that phrase, that energy, that is 100% Kento Asaba. She slams the notebook shut so fast you'd think it was on fire. Her best friend Yuzu, who is the only person who knows about the secret novelist identity, but doesn't know who's inspiring the male lead, picks up on the fact that something's off. Mizuki's been talking to herself for a week straight. Yuzu even jokingly suggests that maybe what the story needs is a real person for inspiration, someone infuriating enough to be interesting. And in the background of that exact conversation, guess who's napping? Completely oblivious. Mizuki does not look at him. She absolutely 100% does not look at him. But that night, sitting at her desk, she writes a line that stops her cold. He slept like the sun had personally given him permission to be lazy. She hates that it's good. She hates it so much. The next chapter she posts absolutely breaks records. Highest engagement she's ever had. Comments flooding in, people obsessing over this new male lead, calling the slow burn killing them, saying she finally understands men who are hot and useless. And Mizuki, despite everything, despite her own denial, can't help but smile reading those comments in the middle of homeroom. Which is, of course, exactly when Kento leans over her shoulder and asks what she's smiling at. She slams the phone down so fast, it's basically a reflex at this point. Nothing. Student council business. Very serious. Very boring. He doesn't buy it for a second. This is the turning point of the whole story. As Kento walks away, he casually says, "Whatever you say, Yume, not Mizuki." Yume, her pen name. Time literally stops for her in that moment because there is absolutely no reason he should know that name, unless he's read her novels, unless he's connected the dots. She chases him down in the hallway, practically shaking, demanding to know how long he's known. And it turns out he'd been reading her novels for weeks before he even realized the writing style matched the way she talks. Little phrases like, "add it to my tad," apparently gave it away. Mizuki is mortified. This is her entire reputation on the line. Her college applications, her carefully built image as the responsible, put-together class president, all of it hanging on whether this guy decides to keep her secret. And surprisingly, he agrees to keep it. No blackmail, no teasing about exposing her. He just says the writing is genuinely really good, though he can't resist pointing out that the male lead sounds suspiciously like, quote, a devastatingly handsome guy. She insists it's a coincidence, a literary coincidence. Nobody believes her, least of all herself. Alone in an empty classroom after school, Kento asks her how the story ends, and Mizuki actually opens up a little. She explains that in the novel, the heroine hates the male lead. He's reckless, he's lazy, he's infuriating. And she's the type of person who has a 5-year plan while he doesn't even own a planner. It shouldn't work. On paper, it makes no sense. But, and this is the part that matters, she keeps writing him anyway, every single night, even when she tells herself she's not going to. Kento, uncharacteristically serious for once, suggests maybe that's the ending. Maybe the heroine keeps choosing him even when it doesn't make logical sense. It's a genuinely sweet moment, and Mizuki, immediately overwhelmed by how much that landed, does what any self-respecting flustered protagonist would do. She stands up way too fast, announces she has council minutes to finish, and basically flees the room. Outside in the hallway, her heart is pounding. This is bad, she thinks. This is so bad. He is not supposed to be likable. But instead of running from it, she pulls out her phone and starts writing again immediately, this time posting a new chapter way ahead of her usual schedule. The line she writes says it all. She told herself it was research. She told herself a lot of things lately that weren't true. That night, fans go wild in the comments, people picking up on the shift in tone immediately. "She's falling. I called it. Please let her be happy," the comments read. And in a nice final beat, we cut between Mizuki reading those comments with a smile she can't hide, and Kento, in his own room, reading the exact same chapter, grinning just as hard. Mizuki is at her desk late at night, doing her usual routine, checking stats, replying to a few comments, feeling pretty good about how the last chapter landed. Then she opens an email from her editor, and her whole night changes. The subject line just says, "Time for the scene." Her editor explains that fans have been asking for months. The slow burn has officially reached its peak, and readers are demanding payoff. Not just tension anymore, an actual kiss scene between the two leads. Mizuki stares at the screen for a solid 10 seconds. Because here's the truth she's never told anyone. She has never been kissed. Not once, not even close. She has written dozens of chapters of romantic tension entirely from imagination, internet research, and secondhand movie references. Writing longing? Easy. Writing eye contact that lasts a little too long? No problem. But an actual kiss, the mechanics of it, the emotional weight of it, she has absolutely nothing to draw from. And her deadline is 1 week away. Naturally, she does what any responsible Type A class president would do in this situation. She has a small breakdown at her desk, then immediately opens a group chat with her best friend Yuzu. Yuzu, ever supportive, suggests the obvious solution. Maybe Mizuki should just, kiss someone for research purposes. Mizuki rejects this instantly. Way too embarrassing, way too real. She'd rather write it theoretically. So she tries. She opens her draft and attempts to write the scene using pure imagination and a truly aggressive amount of research. And the result is, frankly, a disaster. Her editor's feedback comes back blunt. This reads like a chemistry textbook. Where's the feeling? Which is fair. Her big kiss scene apparently includes a sentence about optimal head tilt angles, which is somehow both extremely her and extremely not romantic. Mizuki, out of options and running low on time, ends up venting about her problem out loud in an empty hallway, not realizing Kento is close enough to hear every word. He strolls up, completely amused, and asks what exactly she's stressed out about. She tries to deflect, but he's already put it together. This is a Yume Shirose problem, not a Mizuki Haruno problem. And then he says the line that sets up the entire rest of the chapter. You want it to feel real? Maybe you need actual research. Mizuki immediately understands what he's implying and rejects it so fast and so loudly that a nearby teacher pokes their head out of a classroom to check what's going on. But she doesn't actually walk away. Kento, to his credit, doesn't push it as some big dramatic gesture. He frames it almost casually, like it's no big deal, like it's just a practical solution to a practical problem. He says something like, "It doesn't have to mean anything. Consider it a favor. Writers do research, right?" Mizuki spends the next several panels internally spiraling. On one hand, this is an absolutely insane suggestion from the guy she has sworn to dislike for 3 years. On the other hand, and she hates that this thought even crosses her mind. She's curious. She tells him she'll think about it, which both of them know is basically a yes that she's not ready to say out loud yet. That night, she couldn't write a single word. Every attempt at the kiss scene just turns into her overthinking Kento's stupid casual offer. The next major beat happens at the school's summer festival, which Mizuki is in charge of organizing as class president. Naturally, this means she's stuck working the event instead of enjoying it, running around fixing problems all night. At some point in the chaos, Kento shows up to help because he noticed she was overwhelmed. This is a small but important shift in his character. Earlier in the story, he was framed as pure chaos. Here, he's quietly reliable when it actually counts. They end up alone near the back of the festival grounds after most of the crowd has cleared out. Fireworks going off in the distance. It's the classic setup. Warm lighting, the two of them finally not arguing for once, comfortable silence instead of tension. Kento brings up his offer again, but this time much more gently. He tells her she doesn't have to do anything she doesn't want to do, that he'll help her either way, book research or not. And this is the moment Mizuki actually has to be honest with herself. Not about the book, about him. This is the emotional peak of the chapter. Mizuki admits, quietly, that she's not actually scared of writing the scene wrong. She's scared that writing it with him in mind means admitting something she's been avoiding for weeks. That somewhere between hating him and needing him as inspiration, her feelings became real. Kento doesn't tease her for once, he just listens. The two of them lean in, the fireworks going off behind them, the perfect romantic setup, and right as it seems like the moment is finally going to happen, Mizuki's phone goes off with an extremely loud notification. Her editor texting in all caps asking where the scene is because the deadline is in 6 hours. The moment shatters instantly. Kento bursts out laughing, Mizuki turns bright red and practically sprints away, leaving him standing there, still laughing at the absurd timing. Mizuki goes home that night, and instead of trying to force out a technically perfect kiss scene like she'd been attempting all week, she just writes what she actually felt in that moment at the festival. The almost kiss, the interruption, the frustration, the laughter. She posts it. and it becomes by far the most popular chapter she's ever released. Comments flooding in about how real the tension finally felt, how it was worth the wait, how this is clearly the best writing she's ever done. Her editor sends one single message. See? That's the feeling I wanted. Mizuki reads the comments in bed, smiling to herself, and then gets a text from Kento that just says, "Guess you got your research after all." She doesn't reply. She just smiles wider. Next chapter apparently deals with a rival novelist showing up on Yume Shirase's platform, someone who might know Mizuki's real identity. So the secret might not stay a secret much longer. Let me know in the comments if you want that one covered next. And if you're new here, subscribe for more manga recaps just like this one. See you in the next video.